Hey guys, what's up? Kalamazi here, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a look at Shadow Priest on the BFA beta. Now Shadow Priest is a spec that I'm a bit familiar with as I did play it in one or two split runs on live, and I've kept it relatively geared throughout Legion. I have not been playing Shadow as much as I would have liked recently, but I think I still have a pretty good grasp on it in the class overall. Now Shadow Priest has had a few notable changes to the class, and I feel some of them are worth going over. Mindseer is back, which is a huge relief. Previously in Legion, Mindseer and Mindslayer are baked together in one ability. Channeling Mindflay on a target that was affected by your dots would effectively turn it into Mindseer, AoEing the area around the target. Thankfully with Mindseer back, we no longer have to worry about that effect. The Shadow Crash talent has also been moved to level 75 row of talents, and the new ability Void Torrent, which is the new, or the same ability current Legion artifact ability has taken its place in the 100 row. Lingering Insanity and Mindbender also share the level 90 row, with a third talent in the row not yet being implemented. Here's the build that I ran for this run. I really liked having Dark Void as a great way to spread your Shadow Word pain very quickly and effectively on multiple targets in large packs. If you were to take the Shadow Crash talent in addition to potentially Fortress of the Mind here, I would imagine it would lead to even more damage on trash and larger, more sustained pulls, but I wanted to go with a balance of sorts here for both bosses and trash, seeing as it was my first run playing with the new Shadow talents. I'll have a link to the logs from this run in the description below if you want to take an even more in-depth look at the damage done. The first boss encounter is a two-target boss fight, and the bosses are named Adoris and Aspects. The fight revolves around their energy bar of sorts that increases over time while one has the lightning shield with them. They each do their own specific abilities at 50 and 100 energy.
Stand against our empire. None can stand against our empire. What will become of the empire? Yourselves take me.
Now the first boss fight is a two-target fight, however it's just under a minute for us, which did not fully allow me to get ramped up 100%, but the overall damage was still pretty solid. We see here that Ret Pally and myself were pretty much even when it came to overall damage, but I would imagine the longer the fight actually went on, I would have pulled ahead. The damage breakdown shows Mind Blast as our most damaging ability, followed by Void Bolt and then Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch. Both Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch's damage dealt is a bit higher percentage-wise here than normal due to being a two-target fight, but they still do contribute a good bit to damage overall in single-target encounters like we'll see a bit later on here. The second boss is named Merektha, and she has two phases. Phase 1, she's above the ground and will periodically wrap a party member in a ball of snakes and needs to be DPS down to free them. In Phase 2, she burrows under the ground and summons snake ads that need to be killed from the side of the room. Getting hit by her burrowing ability knocks you back pretty far and deals moderate damage. She will return to Phase 1 after a bit where she can be killed after one more Phase 2. One thing that I did want to note is that Details has been having a bit of trouble separating boss fights in different stages, as well as separating trash reports from actual boss fights, which is why you might see a bit of a difference between the Details report in-game and the actual logs shown. The damage meter here shows the Ret Pally in first, followed by us in second, and the Warlock in third. This being a multi-phase fight where the boss is untargetable for a good bit, it makes it harder than normal to stay in void form and maintain your stacks while he's transitioning. The ads are also AoE down much faster, both by the Warlock with Implosion and especially the Ret Pally. Still, I believe saving Dark Void and more resources for the ads here at the start of phase 2 would have made things a bit closer. The breakdown here shows Mind Blast as a number 1 ability, followed by Shadow Word Pain due to partially the Snake ads, followed by Mind Seer and Mind Flay. One of the things I have noticed here is that it's much harder to maintain your Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch dots than it currently is on live. I think it's partially due to having very little haste, but also a bit due to the duration and Void Bolt changes BFA has brought. The third boss is named Galvazit, and his fight revolves around the energy bar that you see near his nameplate. Soaking the beams of energy that rise from the floor in addition to a few other abilities prevent him from gaining additional energy. The group wants to prolong him reaching 100 energy as long as possible, similar to the Mana Devourer boss in Upper Karazhan.
Certainly have a knack for destruction.
There's a similar trend here in damage as well. We see the Ret Pally in first here, followed by us in second playing Shadow and the Warlock in third. Now all these fights did die very quickly, which did not provide a whole lot of ramp up time for both myself and the Demo Warlock, which is something to keep in mind when you're talking about Shadow Priests and Demo Warlocks respectively. The summary actually shows Mind Flay as our highest contributing ability, followed by then Mind Blast, Void Bolt, and then our Shadow Fiend. I found this to be pretty interesting as this is the first actual single target fight we have seen in this run. I did expect Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch to be a bit higher than what they were, but I think a lot of this will also be changing with higher levels of haste. Shadow does really feel very similar to the way it currently does on live servers in many ways. I can really feel how the spec wants high levels of haste, which is also very similar to the live servers. Now I did decide to leave a good bit of the actual orb event before the final boss ends. It has been recently bugged. The vast majority of the time I've tried to complete the Temple of Sethraliss, we have actually been unable to do so due to the orb getting stuck in the wall or just simply not being able to actually toss in the correct eye socket. What I found, having the right eye as the place where you need to put the orb is functioning about 50% of the time, but we've had no success with the left side as of yet. The final boss is the Avatar of Sethraliss, and it's an ad control and CC of Swords fight. Your group has to kill the ads that are spawning around the Avatar, while your healer heals the Avatar back to full health, very similar to the fight in ICC. Sadly, the Avatar's health pool has been far too small for this point in beta, and the healer and I simply spam healed it for a little bit, and the fight was over with very little ads even spawning for the group. The Red Pally was in first here on the damage meter, followed by the Warlock, but it was really not even a fight at all, which was unfortunate. Hopefully the fight is tuned a good bit more in the next beta build. Now the overall trash damage shows the Ret Pally in first, followed by us in second. However, I do think it's a bit misleading. Even though Dark Void does give us a good bit of burst AoE, it still does take Shadow a bit longer than most classes to begin its actual AoE rotation. Having Mindseer back baseline is nice and really does help with that, however, and I do believe that we will contribute a good bit more to trash damage on fortified weeks or in higher keys in general where the trash mobs live for more than 10 seconds. The summary shows Shadow Word Pain being our highest damaging ability on trash, which is no real surprise due to having the Dark Void talent. Mindseer is in second, which is nice to see and have back baseline, followed by Void Eruption and then Dark Void itself. I really liked having the Dark Void talent and feel it might just be the tool that Shadow is needed to be just so much more competitive in Mythic Plus. In Legion, Shadow has suffered a good bit from having long ramp up time on trash with having to spread both Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain, but having a way to instantly spread Shadow Word Pain to all your targets while dealing a bit of damage and generating a good bit of insanity felt amazing. I really liked that in trash packs of 4 or more. I felt like you could pretty much just toss up a few Vampiric Touches, then Dark Void. It would grant you enough insanity to instantly Void Eruption, which led to some crazy burst. One change I would like to make and would like to see is having the duration of both Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch extended by about 3 seconds each. At this point, it does become a good bit of a pain to have to reapply your Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch to targets that live a good bit, and just feels sort of clunky at the moment, and that applies to trash and bosses alike. Overall though, I really like the feel of Shadow going into BFA and think, especially with higher haste levels, it has some real potential for Mythic Plus this time around, which is something that I'm sure most Shadow Priests are very happy to hear. Shaving 5 to 6 seconds off dotting each mob individually with Dark Void really feels like something that the class was missing, and it does a great job, and it's a really great talent to have around. I'm excited to see what Shadow can really bring in BFA, especially at higher haste levels as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought of Shadow Priest, the build I was running, and the temple run in the comments below. I'm very excited to see what's in store for Shadow and BFA, and I'm also a good bit interested as to what that coming soon talent might actually be for them as well. After experimenting with Shadow a good bit, I think I can safely say that my Shadow Priest will probably be my main ult and one of the first characters to be leveled. If you want to see more BFA and WoW content, hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons as I release new content every 2 or 3 days. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you in battle for Azeroth. Peace.